News 3 continues to follow that disturbing child abuse case here in our valley. And here's what we know so far about it. Metro Police arrested Travis Doss and his wife Amanda Stamper. Both of them have been indicted on dozens of child abuse charges. Police say Stamper called 911 from a drugstore on June 11th to report that she was scared of Doss and concerned about her stepchildren's welfare.
So Metro officers responded to the extended stay apartment complex, found 6 children inside. 2 were locked in a dog's cage. One of them near the brink of death is how they're describing it, so severely beaten. We spoke with Stamper yesterday in a jailhouse interview, and she also says that she was abused by Doss.
Yeah, Kristen Drummond continues our investigation and now joins us live in studio with the very latest. Kristen.
Well, Jim and Latoya, Stamper says the physical abuse against her started years ago and escalated with her 6 stepchildren last year. Stamper claims she never hit the kids, and Travis admitted the same in a police report. But many online continue to question why she didn't call police sooner. Well, the answer, according to a domestic violence expert, it's not always simple in that type of situation.
I can't really say anything because unless you've been in this situation, you won't know how it is.
Amanda Stamper claims she's a survivor of domestic violence, one of her many statements while speaking with News 3 in a jailhouse interview on Wednesday.
I've never been through that, so I don't know how to even process it. Still to this day, as I sit here, I have nightmares every night.
She says the abuse by her husband, Travis Doss, was ongoing through the years. The duo moved to Las Vegas in January 2018 from Georgia for Stamper to earn money as a sex worker.
I actually did leave him one time, and he found me, and then he told me then he better be. He always used to tell me if I ever leave again, he would kill me. So that's why I never left again.
Stamper says her 6 stepchildren eventually joining them in Nevada. She claims Doss hit and hurt her and the children, except their 2-year-old daughter.
Yeah, because he always would tell me if one goes, everybody goes. He also threatens my other children that live in another state and my family.
Domestic violence is an epidemic of power and control by a perpetrator.
Liz Ortenburger, CEO of SafeNest, a domestic and sexual violence agency.
You have to kind of flip the question and say, instead of how difficult is it to leave, what is so difficult that you would be choosing to stay? And not choosing, but maybe forced to stay and not seeing an opportunity for exit.
Ortenburger calls the situation involving Doss's children tragic, but adds Stamper's delay in calling for help is not uncommon in these type of situations.
That is a huge part of what we see with a lot of our clients is they have a fear of calling because if Child Protective Services intervenes, maybe they'll be arrested for failure to protect and then they'll be separated from the children, right? So it is hard to understand the complexities of what someone understands and the reality of that environment.
As for the children in this case, they were removed by Child Protective Services. News 3 reached out to Clark County asking where they are now. A statement from the county says in part, while they are no longer in these circumstances and are now safe from harm, we are unable to comment further due to confidentiality laws. In the coming months and years, these children will receive the support they need to heal and thrive. Now, Ortenburger says the path to healing remains a long road forward for them. She adds that children in domestic violence households have a 75% chance of repeating the cycle as a survivor or abuser.
What's a view worth, especially in a city like Las Vegas here? And is that view more valuable when Formula One cars are in it?
Yeah, it's reportedly an issue between Formula One racing and some bars and restaurants that will have a view of the Las Vegas Grand Prix in November. News 3 Steve Wolford has been looking into this and joins us in studio with more.
Well, that's right, you guys. This started with a report in the New York Post claiming F1 was threatening to block the views of restaurants around the track unless they paid millions in fees. Well, tonight, F1 is responding. According to the New York Post report, F1 is demanding licensing rights to the tune of $1,500 per person to host watch parties around the track, the cost of which could run into the millions of dollars. Or grandstands and lights could be set up to obstruct their patrons' view of the race. But tonight, the Las Vegas Grand Prix says it's only protecting its brand and reputation. This statement to News 3 reads in part, Liberty Media and F1 have made a long-term investment to race in Las Vegas. We are confident the race will bring tremendous economic value to Las Vegas. Adding, F1 commonly executes licensing agreements to protect its intellectual property rights, and the Las Vegas Grand Prix is following the same approach. In other words, according to attorney and News 3 legal analyst Matthew Hoffman,
they do have a legitimate argument for this in that they're trying to protect their product. They're saying, look, if you're going to host events that are advertising, come see F1, come watch the F1 race here in Vegas at our venue, well, then we want to make sure that you're doing it in an appropriate manner.
A venue mentioned in the New York Post article provided a statement to News 3. Black Tap Craft Burgers and Beer says it has not had any direct conversations with Formula One. We also received a response from another venue with a view of the race. Wynn Las Vegas is a sponsor of the F1 race, and the F1 team has not contacted us on this topic. But even though F1 is within its rights to pursue licensing agreements, Hoffman says this case could end up in court because the Las Vegas Grand Prix will be held on public streets.
This is public property. This race is happening. I own a piece of private property that overlooks it, and I have the right to enjoy my view. You don't have the right to restrict it. Again, it comes down to reasonableness. It comes down to safety. And ultimately, it is within the power of the county and the state to have reasonable restrictions on those things for the betterment of the overall economy.
And it's worth noting Las Vegas is hosting another major sporting event where this issue could come up, the Super Bowl. Let's say a bar decides to promote a Super Bowl party, but if they don't have a license from the NFL to say Super Bowl, they have to promote it as the party for the big game or find some other way to say that. I also reached out to Clark County officials today. They tell me they're looking into it, but for now they will have no comment.
Today, Clark County Schools welcomed first-time teachers to the district with open arms at a special teacher kickoff. And News 3's Kalia Patterson has more on how teachers are feeling for the first day of school.
I spoke with a first-time teacher who says she's super nervous about her first school year, but she is excited to meet her students. And here at the teacher kickoff, school district leaders gave these new teachers words of encouragement and advice for their big day. Teachers receive resources to help them inside and outside the classroom. Booths were set up for different information on teachers' unions, credit unions, and higher education programs. And they're continuing their Wild Card initiative. It encourages teachers to have 4 components to help connect with their students. The superintendent says having just one of them will help a classroom succeed.
Once you close the door, you're alone, right? You and 25, you and 30, you and 40 kids. There's more of them than you, so it's how do you go in? And I think where the reality and open the doors, ask for help, ask for assistance. The principals are there to help you. Administration, because we have to move away from, which is some things that we're doing, we got to move away from just being so isolated, you in the classroom, to everybody in that school building.
There are 300 more teachers going into the classrooms this year than there were last year, but the school district still needs 1,100 more. The school starts on August 7th, but teachers will report to their classrooms next Wednesday.
Just click below and subscribe to News 3. You'll get more stories that affect your community.